Good evening. My name is Alex Hyman. I'm the founder of the Young Philatelic Leaders Fellowship, which I'm very proud to say is in its second year. And the exciting part about this year's fellowship track is actually there are two sons of the St. Louis metropolitan Southern Illinois area that are fellows, one being Ryan Lowmaker and the second being this evening's speaker, John Phillips. John has already done two of the 5 stops, or 4 or 5 stops that will be involved in this year's fellowship. Just coming back from Charleston this past week. I'm excited to present him here this evening to the famous Webster Groves Stamp Club. So, John Phillips.
Hello, my name is John Phillips. I'm 15, and this year I am the U.S. Philatelic Classic Society Fellow in YPLF. As a YPLF Fellow, our jobs are to try and get youth interested in collecting, as well as my personal objective for the year is to either build or expand an exhibit that I currently have. This year I chose to expand my America by Water exhibit. I am currently a freshman in high school and have been collecting and exhibiting since I was 9 years old. I currently have 3 exhibits, one on chess, one on the Civil War, and the one I'm redoing this year, America by Water. It's about how water routes affected the discovery, exploration, and development of America. I chose these topics because, well, first of all, I enjoy playing chess. I greatly enjoy learning about how the technology made a drastic jump from before the Civil War to right after it. And I enjoy learning about different means of transportation by water and how they developed. I have experienced many benefits from doing stamp displays. The first one is because I have become very proficient in the use of Microsoft Publisher and Word programs. I also am much better at researching topics on the internet to find information, and also because of that I have a sharper eye for detail. Another thing that is helpful when applying the things another thing that is helpful with stamps is I'm able to apply the things I've learned in school to my stamp displays, and as well as using what I've learned from stamps to affect how I do in history as well as other topics in school. During the Charleston show last week, I met many very interesting people who have helped me along my exhibiting way. Janet Klug has helped me with my Keys to Exhibiting course. David Eels has informed me of different philatelic elements that I could add into my exhibit. John Hochner is currently critiquing my exhibit in depth. So we'll see how that one turns out. Ada Prill who edited the newest manual on exhibiting, read my exhibit from beginning to end, so that was a rather lengthy experience. Mick Zace, who was the Tiffany speaker in Charleston, showed the fellows at the show some of the new additions he had to his collection, which were extremely impressive for us. Tom Lira, who is a writer for the National Postal Museum, went through my exhibit and critiqued it for me. And then Van Stegling showed me what a good thematic exhibit looks like. He did an exhibit on Harry Potter, and I was lucky enough to be able to see that at Charleston. It was a phenomenal exhibit. That is just extremely impressive for me. And I believe it would also be impressive for anyone trying to enter into or trying just to start collecting and possibly exhibiting, which leads me to my next topic, that there are definitely many challenges with trying to get you started in exhibiting as well as collecting. The big difference between collecting and exhibiting is that you are allowed to collect whatever you like, while you're only allowed to exhibit certain things in your different types of exhibits. The judges like good, strong philatelic material and pieces that help further your story, instead of simply the pretty cachets that I think help further the story, but they don't like them as much. When the judges recommend how to improve your exhibit at the critique, young exhibitors can sometimes make some of those changes, but they really can't improve it with the postal history as much, because they really don't have they have a smaller operating budget to cover those things. When I was 10 years old, we went to a local show, and I found a really cool Confederate piece of mail, or at least I thought it was cool at the time. It was, let me think, it was about 15 times my age, since that was 150 years ago. So, I mean, to me, that's huge. Okay. Is anyone in here who's 75 or plus years old? That's like you getting a piece of mail that was sent during the Crusades. that would be, proportionally, that's huge. It's insane how different how old those pieces can be. Some of the different pieces I have enjoyed having are, well, the first one in my exhibit, or in my first exhibit, I had this stamp. It's sort of like a hand drawing that a child would do, having a spaceship flying, with a kid looking out the window, and it says, "Mommy, are we there yet?" And for my transportation exhibit, I got a huge kick out of that one. Another piece that I really enjoyed was that Civil War cover that I mentioned earlier. A piece that I picked up a little bit after that was an Erie Canal piece, or hand-carried stampless mail that gave me information on why the Erie Canal was closed during the winter, because it spoke of a miller who was available to go to New York in order to work for a while, because the canal was closed during the winter, so the locks would not freeze and break all their hard work. One of the more recent pieces I have gotten is a free-franked Union patriotic cover sent during the Civil War that I have added to my Civil War exhibit, and that is impressive how detailed they could be at that 150 years ago, before computers or editing easily with the graphics. And finally, a piece that I picked up just 5 days ago at the Charleston show. It was a letter home from a airplane mechanic in World War I, and the postage was paid by the YMCA. I thought that was really cool, because how many World War I airplane mechanics were there at that time? So, I mean, just the rarity of that piece is pretty interesting for me. I have definitely improved greatly from my first exhibit to the exhibits I'm doing now. My first exhibits were written out by hand instead of typed up. That was a tedious process. I have put boxes around my stamps and envelopes instead of just sticking them on the page and hoping that they would stay there and not go cockeyed. I have also been able to mount stamps instead of just sticking the hinge on the mint one and putting it on the page. That's not quite what they recommend, I guess, for some reason. And finally, I have been able to identify different philatelic elements now that in my first exhibit I had nothing labeled. While on these, in the one that I'm currently redoing right now, I'll have the rate information as well as where it was from and to, and any other obvious details that need to be put down. Overall, I'm delighted to be a YPLF fellow this year, and I would like to thank everyone who has donated to the program, and especially Dr. Nettles, who nominated me to for this year's fellowship. Are there any questions? Yes.
Are there new areas you'd like to explore when you have more funds to expand your interest?
Yes, I'm hoping to redo my Civil War exhibit and get a few more period piece envelopes in there. Yes,
What's been the most fun part of attending the two shows that you've gone to, the Richmond show or the Charleston show?
I have really enjoyed being able to meet all these youth who are actually interested in collecting and possibly exhibiting in the future. Anything else? Thank you for your time.
We have an unusual thing tonight. This is a cover that you are going to be given. It is a steam pin cover. It went from Santa Fe, New Mexico to a Major General. It has, instead of a stamp or anything, it has official on here. And there will be lots of things to research about this cover. And it's yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Explain what you're...
All right. These are my exhibits. My original one, and then my other two exhibits. The first one on transportation, and then these two on chess, and then Civil War. Yes?
How old did you say, or what grade did you say you were in when you first started doing this compared to?
I was a third grader when I made my first exhibit.
Who initially got you interested in stamp collecting?
My grandmother was responsible for that. Yeah, over the last 10 years, she's gotten 7 of her grandchildren into it. So, yes?
What do your two brothers collect?
My younger brother collects bridges as well as Olympics, and my youngest brother collects agriculture material, I guess. So anything agriculture.
Does your transportation one go as far as space?
My transportation one went through all known transportation methods, hopefully, and even some that I don't think are known, like jetpack and Mars rovers that would be propelled by humans. Anything else? Thank you for your time.
Great.